Alright, Adamantarx here, Minecraft 101. I have made videos in the past on enchanting, uh, but today I wanted to go over something a bit specific and a bit in-depth about enchanting. There are two methods of enchanting, essentially. Uh, One method is to go in and use an enchanting table to enchant. You can enchant books, of course, but primarily to enchant a weapon or a tool at level, generally at level 30, which is your highest enchantment level. So an example of this might be here, that here's a sword. I could make sweeping edge 3 on it. I would need to have level 30 to do that. When I do that, it'll cost me 3 lapis lazuli, and it will also cost me 3 XP levels. That 3 applies both ways, right? Let's take a look. Unbreaking 3 for the bow, that's not bad. And Unbreaking 3 for the pick. I think I want the sweeping edge sword. I've been wanting one of those for my chicken farming anyway. So let's go ahead and fire that up and get the sword. Okay, now what I like to do is I will keep at any time when I'm doing the enchanting process, I'll keep a pick, a bow, and a sword on me. But if I'm also looking to enchant shovels or fishing rods or whatever, I'll also keep those handy too. Generally, I enchant my armors by the other method, which we'll talk about in a moment. But now that I've enchanted that sword, I'm going to go ahead and file it away. Let's just put it here for now. Notice that when we did that, we dropped from level 31 to 28. Now, normally, I'd be at level 30, but in my previous video, which I just recently made, I was fighting Endermen and showing people how to fight Endermen and how to get Ender Pearls effectively, and fighting those Endermen actually bumped me up to level 31. So, but normally I would only let it get up to level 30 before I repeated this process. Now, here's what a lot of people do. Maybe most people do, is they'll sort of do what I call sort of riding the level 27 to 30 wave. They'll do an enchantment like we just did, and then they'll go out. They'll feed some cattle, they'll kill some cattle, feed some chickens. When they do that, that opens up the chance. I just farmed off some stuff. I need to replant that. But anyway, that opens up the chance for them to get another level 30 enchantment. I usually start with my cattle first, because they yield the lowest XP, or at least the lowest level gain. I like to start with them at whatever the lower level is, relatively speaking. I don't know that there's a difference between getting to level 29 and getting to 30, but it's the principle of the thing. I start here, then I go to the chickens. I also have a lot more wheat than I do wheat seed, so I'd much rather use this first. And look, it got us to level 29. That's not bad. Okay, actually get us a little way towards 30. Again, we started with an extra 1 level boost at level 31. Normally, we would need to gain 3 levels to do this, but once you deal with the chickens, that's actually no problem at all. Maybe just because they're more compact, and it seems like they're faster to breed, but it seems that chickens give you a lot more XP. And when you start killing chickens, when we breed these up and have about maybe twice as many chickens, go through and hit them maybe with a sweeping edge sword, you can get 4 or 5 levels in 1 or 2 attacks. It's quite insane. It's very nice. There we go. There's 30. So we are good. You heard the heavy chime sound. We are ready to rock. So we drop back down. We go in here. Now, I'm assuming most of you do this already and you know this, but for the sake of talking about the full method, I want to demonstrate it. Our next step. Now we used a sword last time, so we need to actually go ahead and make another sword because we want to see all of our options. Right? No problem. So we'll have a sword ready. These are the three things right now I'm concerned with, are pickaxes, bows, and swords. I'm wanting to get a good collection until I get exactly what I want and have duplicates of the things that I want. So start with the sword. Unbreaking 3, that's actually not a bad thing to have on a sword these days. Ooh, that is really what I'm going for right there. A Fortune 3 pick. I like to have a bunch of those ready to go. I'm making a good collection. Oh, and an Unbreaking 3 pick or bow would also be really good. This is a great bow right here, Infinity Power 4. But the Unbreaking would make it last a lot longer, and I would like that. Man. The other tricky part is this could have other things on it besides Unbreaking. So I think Fortune 3 is the safer option to go with. So I'm going to add 3 lapis lazuli. Look at that. Efficiency 4, Fortune 3. Later I might add Unbreaking 3 to that too, just to make it even stronger. But I have a good collection of these Fortune 3 picks going now, so I probably don't need any more, but they're good to have. Okay. Now, when we do this, it changes the selection here, right? So, oh, I'm trying to load in something with an enchantment, silly me. So now the bow would be power 4 instead of Unbreaking 3. This sword would be Bane of Arthropods 4. Don't care about that. But whatever. And that's essentially how that works. And of course, I would load a pick in. Now, I don't need to demonstrate this method any further. The idea is just to repeat from here. Just ride that level 27 wave. As you enchant, you use up a little bit of time. There are more chickens we could breed. We could go back up there. We could breed some chickens, kill some chickens, breed some cattle, kill some cattle. Get level 30 in no time. Come back down and re-enchant. The benefit of this method is that this method saves XP. In terms of XP and effort to gain XP, this is a really good working method. The drawback is that you don't know all of the effects that you're getting. So the key is that when you load up a weapon or an item, the thing you're really going for should be the thing listed here. So if I want an infinity bow, for example, and this is power 4, yeah, there's a chance that could be a power 4 infinity bow, but there's an even bigger chance that it will not be. So what I want to do is I want to wait until I see infinity there in that little pop-up, right? And we'll get to ways, to a method for setting that up efficiently. Okay, but what a lot of people do is they just burn through these pretty quickly. This actually has the advantage of saving material, right? So actually it saves XP. This method actually burns a lot more material. So I would have to go back here and make another sword, make another pick in this case, right? Then come back here and load it up. So this method's really good if you don't feel like getting a lot of XP, or you're having trouble getting XP for whatever reason. Although I would argue that there are a lot of ways to have a simple XP setup like a chicken farm. But if for whatever reason you have a ton of diamond but not much XP gain, this is a really good method for you. The other method is kind of the opposite, which is to use books and then to combine books at an anvil to get exactly what you want instead of leaving it up to chance. The advantage is that technique is pretty much forced. Like if I'll show you an example. So I like to use that method for getting my protection 4 armor set up. So what I'll do is, for example, so here, if I have 8 protection 1s, I know that will ultimately, once I combine those, that will get me a protection 4. A lot of things in Minecraft are based on multiples of 8. Books are no exception. So, for example here, if I combine those two at an anvil, those two protection 1 books, those will yield 1 protection 2 book. If I combine the 2 protection 2 books, those will yield a protection 3 book. And then once I combine protection 3s, right, those all go together and will give me protection 4. So if you do the math on that, it takes 8 protection 1 books, therefore, to give you protection 4. So that's why I group these in groups of 8, right? That one's close. As you can see here, I have 2 protection 4 books already made, and I have another one ready to go. Okay, we'll get to that. The disadvantage to that system is that it burns a lot of XP. The advantage is it saves a lot of material. It's the opposite of the other method. So if you don't have a lot of diamond, and I actually don't have a ton right now, I have about 1 stack, and I want to make my diamond, my protection 4 diamond armor set up, then this is actually a really good method for doing that. Okay, that's how that works. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to wait until I have maybe 3 protection 4s, and then a feather falling 4, and maybe a protection 3 to throw on the boots, and I'm going to pretty much make a full protection armor setup. But I'm not going to make that until I have it on all of my pieces of armor, and that's the point at which I'll probably go and fight the Ender Dragon, which I've done countless times. The prettiest mob in the game, in my humble opinion. Anyway, those are the 2 basic methods. I want to walk you through that second method now, and then what I want to do is share the way that I actually combine these 2 methods. I also want to make a point here that if you go on any forum or any place where people are talking Minecraft, and they're talking about enchanting, inevitably you'll notice an argument appear that there's a controversy over these 2 methods. Some people think that the book enchantment method is the best way because it's surefire. Other people think that that's inefficient. It's better just to enchant tools straight away at an enchanting table. I actually think that that's a silly debate because I found an effective way to combine both of those methods. I think they're both situational, and I also think there's a much better sort of meta method for combining both, and I'm going to share that with you today. But first, I want to walk you through the distinctly different methods and show you why they're both pretty good. So we've talked about the first method, which is material heavy and XP light. Now let's do the opposite. This method is XP heavy and material light. Let's see, I think I'm getting that right. Here's what we're going to do. So notice we're starting at level 27. Okay. We're not going to just keep repeating the first method. We're going to start using the second method, and I want to show you some ways to do that. So the first thing we're going to need some books. We've got plenty of those. We've got plenty more we can make. And we're going to need some lapis lazuli. Well, we're in luck. Now, what you do is you load in a book and you see what you can get. Now, this is actually pretty good for me because I can get protection 1 out of this for just 1 level. That's what I'm going for, right? So I'm going to click that. I'm going to get my protection 1 book. But a lot of times, this will not show protection 1 or whatever it is that I'm looking for in a given moment. There it is. Like I can't get protection 1 out of any of these. What do? Well, here's a big part of this method. See how those runes are floating from the bookshelves into the enchanting table, right? That's not just a graphic effect. Something in-game is actually happening here that affects the GUI of this enchanting table. Okay, those bookshelves empower that enchanting table, and that's how we're able to do higher level, like level 30 enchantments. If we didn't have those bookshelves, we couldn't do that. Okay. Now, we don't normally think of torches as being an active flame, and they're normally not. For example, they're not going to set anything on fire. However, torches do burn away the magic runes. Effectively, what torches do is they turn off, they deactivate the bookshelves from empowering this enchanting table. Okay, so for example, notice that if I load a book or anything in, all I have now are like level 1, level 2, and even if there was a level 3 enchantment, sometimes there will be, its yield will be something weak. For example, level 2, normally a tier 2 enchantment wouldn't give you something as weak as just power 1, right? What this does is this actually opens you up where it's easier to get what you're looking for. So if you're looking for protection 1, you're more likely to find it. Another trick, you don't necessarily have to place them all. You can do different configurations. And sometimes that can change things so you get what you're looking for. Ooh, protection 3. Now I really like here, I do meet the minimum level for that actually. That could be quite good for me, but I really also like that fire aspect 1 because I want to make a fire aspect sword. See, I have choices. This is cool. Let's go ahead and burn 3 levels and get that protection 3 book. Okay, that was unexpected and delightful. Look at that. We now can make our next protection 4 book. That'll cost, I think, 10, maybe 11. I think it's 10 levels to make that. Okay. Instead of doing that, what I want to do is just keep demonstrating how this works and what we're doing. Although that's nice to have, and 10 levels is easy to get. So that's how this works, right? So you just put different configurations, you play with it until you get pretty much what you want. Cool, there's a protection 1 right there. I'll take it. Going ahead and working on my next one. Why not? The idea is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn these all the way down to level 1, level 2, you know, level 0, whatever it ends up at. And once I do that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride sort of a different kind of wave. Let's go ahead and put these 2 books away here. There's another protection 4 ready to go. We've got a protection 4 there. We're going to have our full set. That's great. Okay, I'm actually very happy about that, even though I'm just trying to make a video here. Okay, so both of these methods separately work great, as you can see. But the major complaint, I think more people are against the book method than are for. I think the more popular method is the tool method, right? Which tends to use more materials and save you XP. Okay. But I'm going to show you a way to make the book method effective and efficient. I'll show you a little method that I've developed before we get to my combined method, which will actually involve that component method in it. So the first thing we got to do is we just got to burn these levels down however we can. I'm going to just keep making books. Look at that, another protection 1. That's cool. Let's just keep that lapis loaded in there. Ooh, feather falling. Right now I'm actually prioritizing feather falling over everything because that's what I really need. Okay. Have some in reserve. When I go and fight the Ender Dragon, I actually like to have 2 sets of full protection 4 armor. So if the Ender Dragon kills me, I can jump back to base, swap out, and keep going. Fight him again until I win. I can usually kill him in the first shot, but he's tough. I think he's tough. And I kind of like to drag it out. I kind of like that fight to last longer because I like looking at the Ender Dragon. think the Ender Dragon's really cool looking. I know I mentioned that earlier. Can't mention it enough. I have a bromance with the Ender Dragon. Alright. There we go. As you can see, we're getting this on down. Let's go for the gold here. And then we'll file these, we'll organize these books. You know what? I'm happy with that. Let's just keep it at level 4. That's cool. Yeah, you know what? Nah. I have an argument to make here. And to make that argument, I need to go all out. Yeah. Impaling. I actually have not used that enchantment yet. It's a relatively new enchantment. Or at least to me. So I'm going to play around with that later. That'll be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and put these here. I'm going to use them eventually. Let me sort these real quick. It's good to have a good sorting system. I really actually like the way that this room is set up. It's efficient, it's simple, and I can reach any of these chests from right here where I do my enchanting, and I like that a lot. So like, as you can see, like my tools are here. Efficiency being the sort of generic go-to thing you want to build on your tools. Okay. Weapons are here. These are bows, these are swords. Obviously, sharpness is for swords. Powers for bows. Okay, and finally, impaling. Huh. I suppose that's for swords. I haven't used it yet. So let's put that in the middle. Special chest. There we go. I already have one there. That's cool. Okay. Stock up on a little more lapis. That's good. Okay. We're looking great. Here we are at level 2. Now this is where the magic happens. Okay. Because what we're going to do is I'm going to show you why the book method can actually be quite efficient, quite easy if you do it the right way. Notice we only have 26 wheat seeds and 50 wheat. Okay. Make sure I have enough put aside there to replant. Okay. I don't have much. That little bit will be more than enough to get us where we need to get. Okay. So we have plenty of cattle. Let's start with the least efficient method, or the method that'll yield levels the slowest. That's because at level 2 it'll work great, right? Because this will get us to level 5 pretty quickly if we kill some cattle. Look at that. Look at how fast we're going. So I'm always going to start by, in my case, by killing cattle. You would start with whatever it is for you that gains the fewest XP. I accidentally killed a calf. I killed Norman. City Slickers reference, if you've ever seen that movie. That was unfortunate. Sometimes it happens. Oh well, he should have dodged. Notice we're already level 5, right? We can work with that already. Now, I don't want to thin the herd too much. Maybe one more. Now I'm going to breed these guys, and that'll probably get us near level 10. I don't know. Let's see what it does. We're looking great. Look at that. Level 8. Yeah. I could just hold down the menu, probably even clicking the mouse. You can just run around and hold that down. Get what you need. Yeah. Close to level 10. Was a good guess. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Good. That's great. I don't want to go above level 15. I really don't usually like going above level 10 when I do this. I'm going to jump in here and breed a few chickens. By the way, this is my eggless chicken XP farm. So I actually made a video on how to build these. Check it out. It's one of the best things I've ever built, at least for me in my experience playing Minecraft. I hate jumping into a chicken farm just to get XP, and now my inventory is spammed with eggs. Right, this actually utilizes hoppers, which sucks the eggs down through those wood planks, and then it delivers the eggs to a central lava trash can. I love it. And I can turn it off, so I can actually use it to collect eggs if I want to, which is pretty cool. I'll show it to you while we're here if you want to see it. That's it, right there. It's a pretty simple system. It'll cost a lot of iron initially, but it will pay for itself. That lever, when you power that up, that actually causes that hopper to turn off, and that's how you can collect whatever it is you want. It's a simple system. Check out that tutorial if you would like to build one. So here we are back in our enchanting room. We're following the book method. Notice that it took us no effort. I didn't even use those 28 seeds, right? I just killed a few cattle, bred a few cattle, didn't even use all of our wheat, and killed a little bit, and I'm level 11. I'm actually one level higher than I would care to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. If I followed this method. I'm actually not going to keep following this method, but I just wanted to show you how this worked. So what I would do at this point is just keep enchanting, and once I expend these 10 or 11 levels or so, I go back up and I breed a few more chickens. I kill a few more cattle, and what do you know? I'm back up to level 10 in no time. And if you do it that way, if you work it back and forth, you can make enchanting with books extremely efficient. The other part of it is that when you're killing the cattle, you're actually getting the leather that you need to make the books. So it actually does two things at once. If you really wanted to go all out, you could even have your chicken farm here and your cattle farm here, so you don't even have to go anywhere to do that, instead of having them, upstairs or something like that, like my setup is. Just a thought. There are so many ways you could set this up even more efficiently than you see here, but this works fine for me. Anyway, so that's the book method, and it works great if you do it right and keep things at low levels. You'll be able to make an enormous amount of books. Now, the reason people say the book method is inefficient is because you also need to use levels to combine books. For example, combining 2 level protection 1 books or any level 1 books will cost you 2 XP each. That adds up, right? So that would be 8 XP to combine each of these pairs. To combine your level 2 books into a level 3, well, that costs 5 XP. And then you double that, it costs 10 XP to combine 2 protection 3 books. It doesn't stop there. From there, it'll cost you a good bit of XP when you actually take the protection 4 book and apply it to your armor. So you're going to expend a lot of XP, but here's the trick. Since none of these singularly will exceed 10 or 12 levels to do, you just keep going up, breed a few chickens, come back down, do 1 or 2 enchantments with the books or combinations, and then you just keep repeating that, and you'll do that in no time with very little effort expended. So this method is actually viable and works very well if you keep working it back and forth at around levels 10 through 15, no higher. Once you get past level 15, XP gain, or I should say level gain, slows down exponentially, right? And so that's when it becomes inefficient. I think the reason a lot of people don't like the book method is because they're trying to use the book method at level 25. And the thing is, it'll cost just as much in terms of levels at 25. In a way, it actually costs more at level 25 to enchant a level 1 book, right, than it does at level 1, right? You have to work a lot more to go from level 24 to 25 than you do to go from level 0 to level 1, or for that matter, from level 9 to level 10. That's how that works. Now, I like both of these methods, And actually, I think the fact that people debate which is better, which is worse, is a silly debate because I use both methods as part of a larger, highly effective method for enchanting. I'm going to show you how that works right now. I'm actually really excited about this. It took me a while to figure this out, and I'm very happy to be making a video about this and sharing it with you. Okay. Alright, you might hear my cat purring in the background. I think Mr. Gray is happy with this too. Actually, Gray's just happy because I'm petting him. He's my Minecraft buddy. If you've watched my other videos, you've encountered him before. Okay. Alright, Gray, you ready to do some enchanting? Some serious enchanting? Well, here we go. Let's say, okay, that I want to enchant a sword or a bow. I want infinity on that bow. This is actually, by the way, how I got this infinity bow in the first place. Infinity's rare. It's hard to get. Okay. But I want to get infinity. This could be a power 4 infinity bow, but I have no guarantee of that. The only thing I know this will have is power 4, right? It could have power 4 flame or something like that on it. Power 4 knockback, I don't care about that, right? Or punch, rather, the knockback version for a bow, right? But I want that to say infinity right there. So here's what I do. So I'm about level 11. That's a great time to start working with this. I'm going to start by enchanting a book. Okay. Because when you make an enchantment of any kind, no matter how small, you change the possibilities for every other item that you load in. In fact, that's the only real way to change it, is to make an enchantment. So I want, maybe efficiency 1, right? We'll just do that. That's fine. Although I could add torches around it to get what I want. Usually that'll yield more protection if I do that. But in this case, we've got more efficiency. But before I do another enchantment, I'm going to take every chance in between to check my bow again. Oh, look at that. Now, that doesn't really help me sell my method. Maybe it does. I would normally expect this to take 5, 6, maybe even up to 10 book enchantments before I finally get that infinity bow that I want to enchant, right? But in this case, it only took us 1 try. That's great. Now what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to enchant anything here. I'm going to leave this right where it is. All right, and I'm going to go up. I'm not going to do this now because I don't want to bore you with the details, but you could imagine me going up there, breeding chickens, killing cattle, breeding cattle, killing chickens, maybe even killing a few creepers at night, and getting back up to level 30. And now I can enchant my infinity bow that I want to have. Right? And again, that's exactly the method I used to get this baby right here, this infinity bow. So while people debate which method is better, it's much better to combine the two methods to get what you want. One method actually feeds into the other. And what's beautiful about it is, at the same time, you're getting what you want. You're also making some good books. You're getting your efficiency books, so you can have great tools when you want them. And you're definitely getting your protection 1 books built up, so you can have that crazy strong armor that you need to fight the Ender Dragon, for example, right? So you're actually doing 2 great things at once here by combining these 2 methods, right? And I think that there's a lesson to be learned here, maybe not only for Minecraft, but for life. While people debate extremes, right? A lot of times what they miss is that if we critically think about things and we get outside of a singular sort of linear way of thinking, a lot of times we can combine those two. We can find a middle ground. we can take the best of both and combine them into a mixed method to really get what we want out of it, right? And to make a superior method by doing that instead of becoming entrenched in sort of a singular way of just doing things. And I would say, as in Minecraft, so too in life. But hey, that's a discussion maybe for another video. But definitely we can say that that is the case here for enchanting in Minecraft. So I hope that this exploration of different methods of enchanting and my mixed method of enchanting has been helpful to you. Give it a shot. See if it works for you, and give me the good word if it does work out for you. And I would also love to hear about your methods and your approaches as well. There are a ton of different ways to do any one thing in Minecraft, right? But I think this is a really good one. Anyway, I'm Adamantarx. This has been Minecraft 101. As always, until next time, happy Minecrafting and happy enchanting. Good day.